Hi, grade 10s. So today we're going on to Pythagoras' type problems, working from slides 35 to 38 from the Trigonometry PowerPoint. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with what we previously learned, with your trig ratios being in terms of x, y, and r. So going straight into the first example, they've given us this diagram where we have an angle alpha, and there's our arm, and we have a point -3, 4, that's their coordinate, and then we've just dropped down a line to the x-axis and made a perpendicular angle there, so we have a right angle triangle. Okay, so obviously we're going to have an x value for that, we're going to have a y value for that, and an r value. So you can see here that our x value will be whatever this x value is here. So this value here will be -3. And this value here is your y value, which is 4. We just don't know what the r value is, okay? So the first question is saying, P is the point -3, 4. OP makes an angle alpha with the positive x-axis. Then question A, calculate this length OP. All right, so if I draw a little rough sketch over here so you can see more or less what it looks like. We have this situation here where this is -3, this is 4, and this is r. And you can see we can use Pythagoras to work out this solution here. So we know that r squared equals x squared plus y squared. So r squared is equal to -3 squared plus 4 squared, and we get r squared is equal to 9 plus 16. R squared is equal to 25. So r is equal to, now remember when you take the square root, you're going to get a plus or minus answer. But r is always positive. So just make a note of that. R is always positive. Okay, so we're only going to consider 5 and not -5. Okay, so that means that OP is equal to 5. Okay, because OP is that R. All right, that was question A. Question B is saying find the value of all 6 trigonometric ratios. So before I do that, what I want to do is just summarize all my values for this angle alpha. So we know what our x value is, it's -3. We know what our y value is, it's 4. And our r value we calculated over here, it's 5. Okay, so now they're asking for all of these trigonometric ratios. So we have sine and whatever our angle is, alpha. We have cos alpha and tan alpha. Now the reciprocal for sine is cosec alpha, sec alpha for cos, and then cot alpha for tan. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use that little rhyme that we learned before, okay, which was shelter your rear because x-rays tan your exterior. And the reason why I'm using that one is because we've got x, y, and r values. So you remember it's shelter your rear, y over r, because x rays tan your exterior. Okay, now cosec is going to be the reciprocal for sine, so that'll be r over y. Sec will be the reciprocal for cos, so that'll be r over x. And cot will be the reciprocal for tan, which is x over y. Okay, now we have our x, y, and r values. So this one here will be y over r, 4 over 5. This one is x over r, so it's going to be -3 over 5. And this one's y over x, 4 over -3. Now we can do the same for this one here. It's r over y, so 5 over 4. R over x, 5 over -3. And then this last one is x over y, which is minus 3 over 4. Okay. Going on to the second example. Just read out the question. They've told us that P is the point x minus 5 and OP, so this is O, OP makes an angle of beta with the positive x-axis. So now this one's a little bit different because they've given us, if you have a look here, that is your R value. So given it just as 13. Our x value, which is this over here, we don't know it. You see, we don't know. But now our y value is minus 5. Okay. So the first question, A. Calculate the value of x if OP is 13. So if I redraw this, just to show you what it looks like, this is the situation that we have. That's 13 minus 5 and x. You can see we can use Pythag again to find out what our x is. So here it's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So our x we don't know, plus our y is minus 5 squared equals 13 squared for our r. So x squared plus 25 is equal to 169. So x squared is equal to 144. Now I'm going to take the square root and we get plus or minus 12. Now with the x and the y, they can be negative or positive. So I'm just going to make a note here. X, y can be positive or negative, okay? And the reason why it can be positive or negative is because it depends on what quadrant you're in, all right? So we can see that this one is in quadrant 3. And we can see that our x values in quadrant 3 will be negative. So I'm just going to say here that x is equal to negative 12 because we're in the third quadrant. All right. I'm just going to summarize what our x, y, and r is. So our x we've just calculated to be minus 12. Our y is minus 5. And our r is 13. Okay, question B is now asking, so we've got B1, find the value of sine beta plus cos beta. Okay, so sine in terms of x, y, and r is shelter your rear. Plus cos is cos x rays. Okay, I know what my y, my x, and my r is from here. So our y is minus 5 over r is 13 plus x is minus 12 over r is 13. Denominators are the same, so I can just add the top. So minus 5 minus 12 is minus 17 over 13. And that's the value for that one. Okay, if we look at number 2, they're asking for cosec beta plus cot beta. All right, so cosec in terms of x, y, and r, if we turn back, we can see that cosec is r over y, all right? And the other one was cot. So we've got x over y. So cosec is r over y plus cot is x over y. Okay, substitute our values in. So r is 13 over y is minus 5 plus x is minus 12 over y is minus 5. Okay, just going to finish the sum off over here. So this is minus 13 over 5. The negative and negative gives us a positive, so we've got positive 12 over 5. They both are over the same denominator, so we just add the tops. minus 13 plus 12 is minus 1 over 5. Okay, and there's our solution. Right, grade 10s, I would like you to do exercise 5.8, number 1, 2, 3, 5, and then the reciprocals of 4 and 6. Okay. Also, grade 10s, what I would like you to do, if you look in your Teams chat, there's a little emoticon sign there. Just press it for me and then press the dancing little penguin and send it on the chat for me, please. Thank you.